Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Lone Oak Farm, episode number 9. And we're back here in the same game day that we were in when we were together for episode number 8, and maybe even 7. I can't remember now. It has been a couple of days since I have recorded, and wanted to get back here in the swing of things. Now we need to do a little bit of cleanup, and then we're going to get back to work with our grass work. We've got Billy Bob and Jack both out in the fields working. Billy Bob is mowing and Jack is running the tedder, and we're just going to run our John Deere down here and pick up this field storage, the slurry storage unit down here, and pull this back to the main farm area, just because, well, it doesn't need to be down here, and secondly, it's going to get in the way whenever they start mowing down here, because I'm going to need to get one of those two guys down here to mow, and this doesn't need to be down here and be in the way. Hope everyone is having a wonderful, wonderful day, and it has been a wonderful day for me, and the wife and I are planning our weekend. My birthday is coming up here in the real world. Of course, by the time you see this video, my birthday will have come and gone. I really don't know when you're going to be watching this video, but I can tell you that it will be after my birthday has come and gone. And I do not want to clip that propane tank or any of that stuff there either. I am just driving like a madman. My apologies. This one thing about these tracked vehicles is they kind of have a mind of their own. They turn on a dime, obviously. We're just going to park this slurry unit back here between these two buildings. It's a good place to keep it out of the way, out of sight, out of mind, right? All right, so we'll just pull this John Deere up here so we don't lose it there in between the two buildings. Set our parking brake and jump out. Let's see, what are we going to do next? Let's wash off this tractor and this fertilize lime spreader. I am so glad that someone finally came up with a mod that allows you to spread lime with just a rear-mounted PTO-driven spreader like this. It was a little disappointing. Now I don't really get the whole lime concept with Farm Sim 19. You know, I understand that looks like this thing doesn't come clean very well. I kind of get the whole concept that I guess Giants was just trying to give people something else to do. But I was watching an episode of the Millennial Farmer, and he actually talked about lime. Somebody was on his farm and they were talking about lime and stuff like that. And he's like, well, I don't use it, don't need to use it. The pH in his soil is just fine. But yet Seasons seems to still demand that it to be used, and so, well, we're using it because Seasons wants us to use it, and I don't think, at least, that you can turn that off. If I'm mistaken, then somebody please correct me, but I don't think that you can. I think if you turn it off in the settings, like as if you are going to play just without Seasons, I believe Seasons overrides that setting, but I could be wrong, because, like I said, my experience with Farm Sim 19 is rather limited in the fact that, you know, even though I've had it for almost a year, I've really not spent that much time with it, just because of all of my problems and such that I have been experiencing over the last several months, and all those kind of things I had to clear up first before, you know, I have time to mess around with my hobbies and stuff. And so anyway, it's okay. We'll go through the motions. I believe everything has been lined that requires lime for this particular season, and so we'll just cross the lime bridge next year if we decide to play 2 years. Now, as I said, Jack is tethering this and turning this into hay. Now, I don't believe that just because it looks like it's dried. I don't think it's fully dried yet. I think it's still grass. So we're going to just leave this out here. I don't know what he did with this pile of grass, but anyway, we may have to come around and do some manual touch up there for Jack. But in any event, Billy Bob is over there in this field that we're going to begin to start raking, because this is the field that we're going to actually, once we get our rake, our windrower, our rake all folded up out here, we're going to actually rake this for grass, for chaff, for silage. And let me go ahead and we're going to do some, you know something, did I not put GPS on this tractor? Well, I guess we'll just do it manually and hope for the best. And we're off. Raking grass on Lone Oak Farm. Now, as I was saying in episode number 8, which I recorded a couple of days ago, and I'm trying to remember everything that we did in that episode, and I'm trying to remember maybe everything that I said or talked about, but I do believe that I sort of hinted at the fact that we would not be expecting a very high demand on our grass because of the fact that we were not at the highest level of fertilization. And well, that's just kind of the way it goes, I suppose. And you know, we want to try to get this in. We want to try to get our first cutting in before the rains come again. We've got rain forecasted in the next couple of days here on the map, and our weather forecasters are generally pretty accurate when it comes to those kind of things. And we just want to get this stuff in. We want to get the grass in and get chaff producing silage. And of course, we want to get the, we don't have anything planted in this field yet, so we can drive on it. And of course, we want to get the grass turned into hay and get that hay picked up and put in the barn as well. And so we're going to be able to do all of that just here in a moment. As soon as I grab us a screenshot, we'll do this here with myself and with Billy Bob in the picture at the same time. Good stuff. And so we'll get all that done and still have plenty of time, I believe, for all the other farming tasks that we need to do, including looking after the animals and getting the rest of our fields seeded. And then, of course, the wait for the crops to grow. And, of course, while the wait for the crops to grow comes along, that'll give us another opportunity or two to cut grass again and do this all over again. Hopefully we can find a few days where we don't have rain coming and we can take advantage of that. At least I hope so. You know, I remember in Farm Sim 17, some of you guys may remember this as well, especially some of you longtime viewers. You might remember the winter challenge, or the challenge that I did during the winter time on that map. How much snow that I had. I had snow just every time I turned around. I had snow, and how crazy it was trying to drive in that stuff. And let's go ahead and lift up. I tell you what, I'm going to back up because I know what's going to happen. If I get over there into that field, I'm going to shut my windrower up too, because I know what'll happen. I get over in that field, and it is liable to disrupt some of that grass that's drying. And we should have some good sunshine. We're supposed to have some sunshine the next day or two before the rains hit. So I'm really suspecting that we'll get that hay in without any problems. I know our good friend, the good friend to our channel, DC. I know that he had some rain come and ruin his grass and hay. It does happen. Even sometimes when you're paying attention to the Farmer's Almanac and you're paying attention to the weather forecast, you know, Mother Nature can throw you a curveball, and when she does that, then you just have to pick up the pieces and try to move forward as best you can. But we're going to try to make hay while the sun is shining, as they say. and just absolutely do the best we can. So our good friend Eustace Pharmer, otherwise known as Atomic67 G, he got himself a new PC and is in the process, I'm sure, of getting it all set up and everything. We wish him the very best of luck with that. Looking forward to seeing what that new PC can put out on his YouTube channel, and of course all the fun that he'll have with that new PC, playing Farm Sim 19 and some of the other simulation-based games and other types of games that he enjoys playing. Plus, I'm sure perhaps even doing a little bit of video editing and such. I don't know if he plans to keep his current machine as maybe doing his video stuff on, or if he's going to just throw everything on one. Not sure. I'm sure he'll tell us, and then we'll all know. But good stuff. I think it's one of the Dell Alienware machines, and I was joking with him on Discord that it sort of looked like a toaster. It looked like a Dyson something or another that Dyson might make. Man, they sure make those desktops fancy. Of course, my desktop, you might have all seen and remember pictures of it from now a couple of well, no, it was last year, wasn't it? Yes, it was last spring, I think it was, when my machine died, and I had to take about a month or so just to kind of save up my pennies, and I sold a few things that I had laying around that I didn't need or didn't use much anymore, and that allowed me to fund my new PC purchase, the Beast Mark V. It's my 5th gaming machine that I built, and of course those things are fancy as well. Now I don't really get into all the lights and stuff, even though mine has some red lights which are kind of cool. It was just part of the case. I mean, I didn't necessarily go after it for any specific style or reason or anything like that. But some of these desktops, these pre-built models like the Alienware, like the Dell models and stuff, they're certainly getting fancy now. A lot of the desktop computers that we have at work, and we're predominantly a laptop deployed organization. The organization that I run the IT department for is predominantly laptops, because for business continuity and disaster preparedness and all that kind of stuff, we have most everyone has laptops, so that if we have a significant, like a blizzard, for example, that we can get here in Colorado or in our office in Orlando, obviously they have those hurricanes that come in the late summer and fall time frame that can be of a nuisance and everything. I would say a good 90%, maybe even 95% of our organization use desktop computers. Use laptop computers. There's a few folks that don't have laptop computers for various reasons, but I'd say a very high 95% of the organization does have a laptop. But the desktops that we have are obviously commercial grade. A lot of them are from Dell. I have bought a lot of Dell hardware. I've bought a lot of Dell laptops, and obviously a lot of Dell desktops in my organization. Right now, Lenovo tends to be the hardware vendor of choice right now, typically based on not necessarily on price, but just availability and who can ship what the quickest is kind of what we tend to go with. Although I still buy a lot of Dell hardware, Dell servers and such, but the Dell desktops obviously are in the corporate type environment are nothing fancy like the Alienware stuff. We don't need high-end graphics cards. We do have fairly powerful CPUs, just simply because of the various applications and stuff that the organization is either supporting and or on the development side developing. Oops, wrong button. I want to do that. They are somewhat beefy from that perspective, usually 16 to 32 gigs of RAM, stuff like that. But from the standpoint of like graphics and stuff like that, they don't need to be. These folks are typically manipulating Excel spreadsheets and Word documents, PowerPoint presentations, that type of stuff. No graphics production, no video editing and stuff like that. Yes, there are departments within my company that do all that kind of stuff, but those are not in my wheelhouse anyways that I have to support, which is kind of unfortunate because I would like to, it would be nice to be able to support and provide some folks some really nice, powerful machines that, you know, who knows, might end up in my office to do a little bit of testing, little gaming testing. But I'm not lucky enough to have those kind of folks within my area of within my organization that I support. So, but they're tough. They're tough machines. The Dells that we have some Dells, we have some Lenovo's, and some of these machines literally are 10 to 12 years old in some cases. Now, obviously, we do swap out laptops, for example, every 3 years. We pretty much refresh laptops every 3 years. That is our standard warranty from all of our vendors at the moment. And same with the desktops, but a desktop computer, you know, because again, they're not doing a lot of high-end stuff. The laptops, the reason why we swap the laptops out so frequently is because they are transported back and forth between an employee's home office and their office, and you know, they do take a beating, and after 3 years of constantly being, you know, taken home every day and used quite extensively as they do, in 3 years a laptop will start to show signs of wear and significant you know, degradation of performance and all that kind of stuff. A desktop computer, again, some of those have been literally running nonstop for 24 hours a day, in most cases 7 days a week, because we also use those for test environments. And a lot of those test environments, we need them to stay operational 24/7 because folks are dialing into them. And so a lot of these desktop computers literally have not been shut off for maybe a couple of years. Yes, they get rebooted as they need to take updates and stuff like that, or if we have power situations or we're having upgrades done on our, for example, our power or something like that, then obviously the equipment has to be shut down. But, oops, where is my courseplay menu? That's weird. I do not have a courseplay menu anymore, ladies and gentlemen. I am right-clicking, but it is not coming up. Let's see, control click. Did I change it? No, I don't normally do that. That's okay. We're just going to park this guy right there, and we'll jump out, and that will run into the mower there. Good thing it wasn't on. But anyway, what I was saying is a lot of these desktops are really powerful machines from the standpoint of reliability, dependability, and stuff like that, but maybe kind of light on performance. Obviously, they wouldn't play farm sim or truck sim or anything like that very well. They might play some of the older versions, but I doubt that they would handle Farm Sim 19. And I really don't know how we got off on that subject. Kind of my thoughts got derailed there with dealing with that issue where courseplay wouldn't pop back up. Oh, maybe it's because my HUDs are hidden. Duh. Okay, well, it is late in the evening. You know, I get home from work usually by 6:30. I have a bite to eat. We watch a bit of TV, and then I usually get off, you know, come downstairs for about 45 minutes to an hour or so, and do a little bit of farming or do some trucking or do things like that. That's kind of my Monday through Friday schedule, or maybe I should say my Monday through Thursday schedule. I get up super early. I think I might have said this before, I've turned into my dad. You know, my dad used to used to tell me how easy it would be eventually for me to get up in the mornings, and I fought that for years. I considered myself to be a night owl for years and years and years, and I hated mornings. I absolutely hated mornings. And then maybe, I don't know, about 20 years ago, 15 years ago, that began to slowly shift. And it wasn't a fast change. I will say, though, that probably since I turned 50, since I have been north of 50, and I will be 53 coming up on my birthday in a few days. Um, since I have been 50 and then north of 50, I have, and it came quickly, I became a morning person. I wake up pretty much without the need of an alarm clock anywhere between 4:30 and 4:45 in the morning, every morning. That is Monday through Sunday. Now, on Saturday and Sunday mornings, or anytime I have the day off, so like for example, I'm going to be off this coming Friday because it is my birthday, and I stopped working on my birthday probably 20 years ago because, hey, you got to give yourself a little bit of freedom. And so I made the decision, and my wife is the same way. We just don't work on our birthdays. We don't work on our birthdays, and we don't work on our anniversary. And then we take other time off throughout the year. But those are 3 days that we do not work. Now, if our birthday falls on a weekend day or our anniversary falls on a weekend day, then we may or may not take a day off the week leading up to that. We might do a Friday through the weekend for a 3-day weekend, but typically we don't work on those days. But anyway, I will always wake up at the same time. Again, 7 days a week, I wake up between 4:30 and 4:45. My alarm is set for 5 a.m. My safety alarm is what I call it. So if I'm working, my safety alarm is set for 5 a.m., but it has not gone off for a year or more. I think maybe because I typically take off the week between Christmas and New Year. After about a week of sleeping late, I will sometimes have a difficulty getting back into that schedule, back into that 4:30 to 4:45 thing. But it only takes like one day, and then I'm right back there. And usually, and I'll be honest about this, especially for you young guys out there that are watching the channel, this day will come where your bladder will not allow you to sleep through the night. It just will not do it. And so usually the 4:30 to 4:45 wake up is my bladder saying, hello, I need to go. And so that is usually what that means. But I can go back to sleep, obviously, on Saturday and Sunday, or anytime I'm off. I will go ahead and get up at 4:45, but I will go back to bed. And most times I can fall back to sleep. It may take me 15 minutes or so, but I can generally go back to sleep, which is obviously good because Saturday and Sunday is about the only 2 days that I can seriously get some rest, and I will get a good 8-9 hours of sleep on those two nights. But yeah, I usually go to bed 10:30, and like I said, 4:30, 5 o'clock, 4:30, 4:45 in the morning, certainly before 5 a.m. I am up and getting ready to go to work, and I'm usually in the office by 5:20, 5:30. I mean, I don't. It doesn't take us guys very long to get ready, and I grab a cup of coffee. Usually, I've got my Keurig comes on by itself at about 4:45, and so regardless of what time I do get up, as long as I'm downstairs by 4:45, the water is hot, and I've got a cup sitting under it and a K-cup on the counter, and basically put those two together, and Bob's your uncle. I'm out the door and off to another 9 to 10 hour day, rinse and repeat. And it's just the wacky corporate world of things, especially in the IT world. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are coming up on 26 minutes. Thank you all so very much for watching. I will put some of this grass away off camera and maybe bring us together for a few loads of moving this grass over to the silage bunker and getting that all ready to go. I have no idea how many thousand liters of grass we can expect out of this. We'll get whatever we get. And we've got I believe one other grass field that we probably will mow. And I don't know what we will mow it for yet. Kind of depends on how much grass we get out of here. If this gives us a few, say 40, 50, 60,000 liters, something like that. It could be more, it could be less, I really don't know. Then we may not cut any more grass for silage, and we may cut that other field for hay. But irregardless, we will be cutting that other field for something or another, and I will let you all know what that is once we come back together for episode number 10. So until then, please take good care of yourself. Thank you so much for watching my videos and for hanging out with me here on the beautiful Lone Oak Farm map. God bless you all, and bye-bye for now.